Hey.
Guilty.
Yeah, I literally was talking and raving about how we're pre-recording episodes so you guys get the whole thing, and we won't be off for 2 weeks. And what do we end up doing? Being off for 2 weeks. And it's not my fault. It's our fault.
I don't like this blaming thing.
I'm only joking. Things came up, and we couldn't end up doing recordings or whatever. Like, if you saw behind us right now, you'd understand. By the way, we're not moving.
Wait, yet.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, or whatever. But, like, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background anyway, and we just didn't get the chance. And then we're also... It'll be a lot more consistency after...
Hopefully, question mark.
What's called, like, it's been crazy recently. But I guess it's your bi-weekly podcast.
Even worse.
Well, twice a month. Yeah, technically. You get 2 episodes. You just get a 2-week break in between.
Yeah.
But what's called, we are back again for...
I'm personally, like, I'm not here to make any promises. Like,
Yeah.
You'll see us when we post. Do you know what I mean? Like...
Terrible influencers.
You'll see us when we post.
But at least we can talk about some of the stuff we were doing in the meantime.
Yes.
Which was, we were over stateside.
America.
Yeah, for a little bit. And I guess we can give you our experience on some of those things, you know. And I guess we'll start with, we were in Boston.
I was gonna kind of start it with... Okay, so basically, I was kind of asked a couple of times of, like, what was it like entering the US and stuff, because if you're aware of what's happening in the news and everything, everyone's kind of like, oh, like, are they stricter on, like, border control, like, because, you know, there's some talks like they could check your phone, you know, they could look through the stuff that you're liking on social media, like, is it against the president and stuff like that, you know? And perhaps they do, like, I'm not here to say, like, no, it definitely doesn't happen. Like,
no, it happens.
Yeah, exactly. It does happen. But it actually didn't happen for me, and I don't think it happened for you either. No. It was really, really chill. Actually, it was faster than the first time when I went with my mom. And they definitely asked a lot more questions then. But this time it was just like, how long are you here for? Where are you staying? And then just let me go. But I'm also, like, a white girl by myself, so that could also be a very different experience. But while I was there, I definitely didn't feel like unsafe, you know, like I didn't feel like I was being watched or surveilled or anything like that.
But also you're a white woman, so yeah. But
we were together, that's what I mean, like us together in the country.
Like in the country. Yeah. Oh no, yeah.
Because I was asked, like, oh, how does it feel to be around there? And I'm like, oh, like, I didn't deep that.
Well, even as a white person, no one ever has that issue, to be honest. Yeah. So let's be real. Like, majority of the time, you know, unless you're like, you look a little bit too tan, you know, look a little too Arab.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was with you. Yeah. So people aren't asking me, I guess, for me, like, what's it like?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, not that you say it, I'm trying to think. No, it was pretty calm, but I don't think we were in anywhere with, like, heavy police enforcement. Like, for example, in Boston, we were kind of, like, in the same place the whole time. We never really went much anywhere else except for, like, here and there. And then for LA, we were in the car majority of the time as well. So we never really saw too much. So, like, I don't know if we could really give an opinion on that because we never really saw too much police presence. But I think it would be a different story if we were, like, seeing police here and there and then we could see their reactions versus, like, when we don't really see them at all.
But that's the thing, because you would think that, well, based off some stuff that you're saying, you think that it's heavily policed in a lot of different places. And, like, we would have gone to, like, touristy places that weren't. Yeah,
but also we were in very blue states.
It's just true too.
So, like, it's so different.
That's true.
Like, we were in blue states. Like, California is the most bluest of all blue states, you know?
Yeah.
And then, what's it called? Massachusetts
Yeah.
Massachusetts is a blue state too. So I think it would be a different thing if we were like red states. You know, like then it would have been a little bit more like
We could be more
you know,
aware.
like it's like oh, like if you were like in Texas or any of those
Yeah.
places, like those like way more red states, like you know, then it's like okay, you know, maybe things, but like we're in very, very blue states.
True.
So they're very like progressive.
Yeah, because that actually kind of brings us to seeing a protest in Boston. So there was a Palestinian protest in Boston right outside our hotel, so literally at the front of our hotel gate. And I thought it was really cool. I thought it was amazing. I was like, wow, like people here also like care about this, because I guess this isn't really like it's not something that I see on social media, like, you know, whatever. I see it a lot in Europe, but not as much in America. So I thought it was really cool. But what I thought was well, I feel like this is common sense, but they're being escorted by police, right? And I don't know why in my brain I was like, wow, I didn't think that police here would also do their job of like, you know, being there to look out for their safety, because that's why they're there. They're escorting them and making sure that
well, vice versa, to make sure they don't cause a ruckus, and also to make sure no one cause a ruckus to them.
Make sure that they're safe, and then like traffic is stopped and everything. In my head it was just like they would never allow this, like police would never back this up. It's like all individual, like your own little protest that you're doing. But no, it was escorted and like traffic was stopped, and like I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, but as I said, like those places are pretty blue states, so like you know, it's definitely a different vibe over there in comparison to the other states. Like obviously, like red states. I've never been to a red state. Now that I think about it, actually, ever going to America. I want to go to Texas. Like I want to go to a few places. Like not because they're red states or anything like that. Just like there's some states I have interest in. But yeah, I guess. Yeah, the experience getting in was calm. It wasn't that bad. It was pretty straightforward. And then getting out was also pretty straightforward. No issues, obviously. But we're going back to our own country, so obviously it's easy. But yeah. But how did you find Boston, though, as a whole?
I loved it. And I didn't have expectations. So that's probably, you know, why. But I love Boston. Like, Boston is just such a chill city. And so many runners, and then Ferg was telling me that it's because of the Boston Marathon, which
probably
we didn't really know what's the story with everybody running. Because like when I say you see a lot of people run, like you actually see a lot of people
like a lot of people running every day. Like also obviously we're there when it's sunny, but like every day people are running. Like we're talking hundreds of people running, like literally in a run. Like sometimes we saw like a few run clubs, and the run clubs minimum like 70 or so, 70 to 100 people in the run club, like just following each other,
running like in a run club, and so many individual people running. I've never seen the amount of
never seen that many amount of runners
just running casually, not like for a marathon or for whatever. No, people just running. I liked how walkable it was. Like we were able to just walk over the bridge, go to the park. I love that the city was like just kind of like that kind of like small cutesy vibe. I really like that, like the stores just kind of being on the sides, being able to walk around with a cup of coffee around the park. Like it was just so nice. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, no, Boston is a really nice city. I actually did like the city. It isn't like, it's one of those cities where it's like, it's not like fantabulous. You're not like, oh my God, you know, you're not like, oh, like the way you are in New York where everything's like so much, but it's just like quaint. It's like nice. It's like, it's a city, there's stuff to do, there's places to see, there's things to do, but you can get around. They have a metro system. They have, we didn't use it, but because it's very walkable, as Nicola said, like you can walk around everywhere. There's a lot of different things. It's green, it's lush, but then you still have the brick. It's just nice.
Oh, the brick.
It's just nice. Yeah, you know? So like, it's just really like, honestly, like, it's a chill city. It's very chill, very relaxed. Like if you think about New York and you think about how busy, boom, 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 skyscrapers everywhere, everything is going boom, boom, boom. This is just way more like relaxed, you know? Like it's just like people are doing their stuff, everyone's busy, but at the same time, it's just like chill.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It like it's one of those things like when you see it, you get it. You get what we're talking about. So,
but they're pretty close cities, right? New York and Boston.
Well, New York is not too far from Boston. Yeah, it's like...
So if you get the opportunity, definitely visit both.
Like, I don't know if I would. I think if you went to New York for a trip, I wouldn't come down to Boston for a day trip.
I think it depends on the person. Yeah,
obviously. But I think if you're in Boston and you would then, I think it would make sense to do a day trip or two to New York.
No, I think day trip to Boston makes sense from New York because most people are going to New York. They're not going to Boston to visit New York.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like New York is like there's so much to do in New York that I wouldn't even waste a single day like not being in that place.
I would. I think this is just your love for cities. But obviously there's a lot of people who would, I think if you're a person who maybe enjoys both or prefers like a chill kind of like vibe, I would just go see it. Like fuck it, do it, why not?
Yeah, I get it. I just, for me, it's like when it comes to like, they just like, there has to be something, like there's something that has to be like, I wouldn't like, there's nothing I can think of in Boston that makes me go like, oh, I want to go there I think there's like nothing in particular.
Oh.
Like there's.
I would go for the park, for like.
But New York has so many parks.
No, it's different though.
No, New York has a lot of chill parks as well.
And I get that, but like, I'm not going to take from the beauty of Boston.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's like it's still a park, like in a city. You get me? Versus like it's like if we wanted to do a day trip, like I think it's the concept of day trips for me doesn't work in city breaks, right? Because unless like you have a like say like for example when like if we got the chance to go for a day trip to Yosemite, that makes sense because that's a thing, where you're actually going for a thing.
But I would go for the city. Like I would go for the beauty of the city. Like how you find Yosemite beautiful, the city is beautiful. Like the weather, like even for shopping or even for like whatever, just to chill in the city for a day.
Interesting.
I just think it's that girl. Like Boston is that girl.
Damn, yeah, no, I guess it's just like I'm just like you have everything in New York, and I'm not even a New York person. Like I'm not from there, but like I feel like especially since like I went around so much in New York, I realized it has so much. Like that little quaint part of Boston exists in New York. There were places I went to in New York that were like super chill and like super quiet and super slow, and you'd be like, am I even in New York right now? And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like there was a few parks I randomly walked past, like, and I was like, oh my God, these places.
I feel what you're saying here is.
I feel like New York has everything encompassed in it.
I feel like what you're saying here is, if you're visiting London, there's no point to go see Dublin because it's the same thing. Like you can find it in London.
No,
but
because
Dublin has its beauty all on its own.
I feel but at the same time, I feel like it's different because Dublin and London are completely two different cultures. Like the Irish culture and the British culture are like different and similar.
The culture in Boston was completely different.
Yeah.
Than New York. People were so.
Don't hate on me, but honestly, American, they're all like when you're that close, they're all kind of same.
Like
to
I
me.
feel like the people were a lot more laid back, a lot less like go, like a lot more chill, a lot more relaxed, like a lot more friendlier as well. I feel like people were just like.
Nah, New York people are friendly.
They're not that friendly.
New York
people mind their business.
People do mind their business, absolutely. But New York people are friendly. Like New York people were very open to having conversations.
How many conversations did you have?
I had a bunch of random conversations in New York. Me and Boss had a bunch of random conversations. Even when we were going to the cookie place, we talked to some random people. When we went about all our little things, the halal guys, we were talking to those people in there. Like,
but people are like, okay, so Americans are friendly, period.
Yeah.
Like Americans are friendly as it is. But I feel like, I don't know, Boston was like, if they hit me on the street, they said sorry. I didn't get that in New York.
Like, I guess my thing is like, in comparison to London. Like London is cold as hell, you know, in
And
comparison.
New York as well. Like
I feel
they're not
if you were to
apologizing.
rank New York and London, which one's colder? It definitely London.
No, but we're not comparing London and New York.
I know, no, I get it, but I was just saying, as like
Yeah.
New York is, I'm saying New York is so warm in comparison
Yes.
to like,
But that's because Americans are nicer people.
ooh. No,
I've always said this.
I think they're more open.
They're friendlier, they're friendlier, kinder people.
Oh, I would completely argue that in the sense of like, I think they are more open to conversation, whereas Europeans as a whole, we tend to, like, excluding Ireland. Ireland is also, everyone's just always saying hi to each other on the street. But like Europeans as a whole tend to be more like reserved in the sense of like no one wants to go and make unnecessary conversation without being asked, right? Whereas Americans openly have conversations
But
without
that's
like they
exactly
interject themselves.
That's what makes them friendlier.
But I don't think that's friendlier because I
Yes,
think
it is.
two people can be equally as friendly, but someone might not interject themselves into
No.
your situation.
If you were to strike up a conversation with someone in New York versus someone here, you're a lot more likely to have a more pleasant interaction with someone in New York than someone here.
Ooh, I'm gonna back you up on this one, bro. I can't agree
No,
with that.
go in the middle of Poland and strike a conversation with some random person on the street.
Once again, so
They'd be like, "Why are you talking to me?"
like, I'm talking about being like
Bro,
friendly.
in Romania, matter of fact, there was this lady working in a store. She was annoyed that I walked in her store and asked to buy something. She was like, she had to get up off the steps outside, and she's like, "Oh." Like,
Service industry is different in the sense of like they have to be
but
fake.
Yes, but it just seeps into like their culture as people.
I think they're definitely way more open, but I don't think it constitutes as friendly. Do you get me? As in, like, being open to conversation doesn't make you automatically friendlier. Do you get me?
But it does.
No, because a lot of people in America, this is something actually we talked about, like a few of us that were out there, were saying, one thing that's very interesting is like in London, for example, no one is really interested except for like finance or whatever about your job, right? No one really cares about what you do. No one cares about where you are or whatever. They just chat, just chat about chat. Whereas America, it seems very like everyone is always asking about, obviously they are a very work-driven culture that feeds into it, but it does always seem like everyone's always trying to size up where you are in life and like more about like what you can offer them connection wise than it feels authentic. It feels like conversations outside of like the friendly conversations are all like business transactions or networking opportunities rather than just genuine interactions, right? Versus like here in London, like you can talk to a random person at the pub and no one gives a shit about your status or whatever. They're just chatting to you just to chat to you, and we did have that discussion and we all felt very much so that it felt more like a business transaction in America than it does or a networking opportunity is probably the better way to put it, rather than like a genuinely just having a chat, just have a chat.
Yeah.
So I think that constituted they are, and it shows in their culture, like the whole capitalistic everything, like they're
But
very
then
like boom boom
that
boom.
just kind of like, obviously there's that, and then they continue conversations or whatever. I feel like sometimes conversations here are so surface level, nobody's willing to get really deep with you about anything.
Yeah, but I think that's probably a culture thing, a culture clash in the sense of like people here really don't like people in their business,
Right?
whereas like an American person will spill their dark secrets on like first thing.
So what the hell are we talking about for 2 hours in the pub?
But I think that's not anything about like friendliness. That's just like constitutes about like how open you are as a person.
But it just kind of like, obviously there's a friendliest, which I also think, like, I do think the Americans are friendlier, and I'll stick by that. And then I also think that they're a lot more open to saying things about themselves. Like, we are so reserved here, and like, I'm literally thinking of you and I. People will see you as a friendly person. They could have the exact same interaction with me and not find me friendly. I'm not someone who will offer a lot of information. If someone's asking for something, I'll just probably be like, I don't know, and then move on with my life. I mind my business. I never look around at people. Like, and if someone was to strike up a conversation with me, they wouldn't think I'm a friendly person, but they would think you're a friendly person if they were to strike up the exact same conversation with you. And in that sense, I'm a lot more European. Like, I feel like that's the exact interaction I'd have with a different person on the street, just like me.
Interesting. Yeah, I think obviously it's different. It's pretty interesting. And like, we've pretty much already talked about Boston. Like everything we said about Boston is pretty much all there is about Boston. There's not much else. But I guess that can maybe feed into like concept. How does that feed into your thoughts about LA then? Because definitely like we didn't talk to much LAians, Los Angelians or whatever, but we did overhear a lot of the conversations,
Yeah.
you know, like because everywhere there's a freaking line for some hype thing, you know.
I think LA is definitely where I felt that kind of like everyone wants
Business.
something from you. Like it really felt like that. You know, the valet, like, is he being nice to you, or does he want you to tip him? Is the person like here being nice to you, or do they want to tip? Like, because the most interactions I've had is with, you know, in just like service, like
interaction
wise.
Yeah.
The only ones that actually felt genuine were in Malibu. I feel like that gave a lot more chill. Like, you know, well, not everywhere, but this like restaurant that we ended up in, I felt like that felt like a genuine interaction that we had.
With the manager and then the waiter, like they're both very nice people.
And maybe like, but then again, it's just all service workers, so like I can't even say like, are they just programmed?
But we also heard, like, take for example, we went to.
But I'm saying like from our interactions, that was definitely the case with service workers were the nicest. But like, why were they the nicest? Whereas like overhearing conversations.
Oh my God. I overheard so many conversations.
Go on.
Everybody's so fake. So two-faced. We were out. The one that sticks out to me the most is that we were in the line for community goods. This is a really hyped, like, cafe bakery place. Side note, it's good. It's actually good. Would I line up every time for it? No. Did I line up twice for it? Yes. I take that as you will, as your answer. Okay. Mm-hmm. The breakfast roll is actually good.
Don't get their pastries.
Yeah, don't get their pastries. Their coffee and the breakfast sliders, worth it. At least once.
I agree.
Unless the stipulation is, if the line is wrapped around the block, no, it's not worth it.
But the thing is, there'll always be a line, so just be aware. You'll never find it empty.
Exactly. But if the line is just like, the line goes outside the store and then it goes down like they're like, what would you call it? The disabled ramp. Yeah. If the line is just at the edge of the disabled ramp, just around the disabled ramp, it is fine.
We waited longer than that.
It is fine. No, I'm saying like that is a fine, okay wait for it, you know. But would I do that all the time? Absolutely hell freaking no. I would not do that every time. Anyway, we were in the line for community goods on the second time. The first time there, I heard of stuff, but the second time, the most thing, it's like these essentially LA girls, and they were there talking about random stuff, whatever. And then they were like, what was interesting is like apparently one of the girls that they know that maybe is meant to be there in their group wasn't there, and so they were just shit talking her behind her back. And then and the way they were saying stuff, and then they were like talking about like, oh yeah, this guy knows this person, like he knows all these people, like, and then they're like, oh, yeah, how does like he'll always know all these people, like, and everything, and just talking about like, oh yeah, like this kind of person is to connect to this people. It's never direct, like to these quote unquote famous people. It's like someone through someone.
They were saying like, oh, who's performing tonight? And it was Kendrick and SZA. It's like, oh, can we get like boot tickets or something? I was like,
you know,
startled.
So many. And then I was just like, if one of you that's here right now wasn't here, they probably should talk you too.
Yes.
You know, there was a lot of conversations I overheard like that, where like it's just constantly people talking about like things, either just ultra surface level stuff, and like everyone is just so fake to each other. It felt like everyone's like chatting about someone else or whatever, or chatting about who they knew and whatever. And like, I get it is a place that has a very heavy industry of like, you know, musicians, artists, so everyone wants to have connects of some sort. But oh my God, it would be so draining for me.
Oh, absolutely. Like in that group of girls, there was one that I was like, you don't belong here. Like even me, like watching their interaction.
Oh my God. And it's the funniest thing, you can't make this up. She was like the only brunette in the fucking group.
Like, poor girl. And she was kind of more standoffish and kind of just agreeing with what was being said. And I was like, girl, find your friends. Like, find a different group. Like, somebody help this girl out, you know?
She should just dye her hair blonde and it should fit in a little bit more.
No, because clearly, like, her personality didn't really scream mean girl, whereas the other girls were really mean.
Yeah.
Like, so mean. But I feel like living there and growing up with that must be so difficult, especially as like a girl, because it's so easy to get influenced by all this stuff and everyone having all these things. And the crazy part is LA is it gives third world country, like it gives such a poor place. And I really want to talk about that, because people have this idea of LA, and I did too, and I think everyone did, just from like Hollywood and movies and whatever. LA is
even
not
Hollywood
like
itself.
That. Yeah. Like LA is not like that. LA is actually quite poor. They have a huge drug problem, which is very apparent. Huge homelessness problem, which is also very apparent. Do you know what it's giving? Like, people, I don't know the right wording for this, but it's like people who they think they're gonna make it eventually, you know? Where it's like, reality check, like, you're 45 years old, you know, when are we gonna make it? I don't know, LA is just that kind of like, it can really suck you in that way, but when you're coming from an outsider perspective, it's like, oh wow, like, ooh. Ooh.
You're like, ooh.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, LA is, once again, like everyone always says, like, America. I wasn't even. That's what I was. I was just thinking, like, America is a third world country with a Gucci belt. Like, you know, like everyone says that. Like, that's the meme. You know, and LA, I think, is the best in compensation. So that,
because Rodeo Drive is the Gucci belt.
Like, you know what? I think LA is actually probably second most. I think San Francisco is the best in compensation of that. Simply for the fact that you can have like crazy tech millionaires, all these things, go to these coffee restaurants, and just literally like a block down is like a rampant street of homelessness, you know? So I think that's even a better show, because at least in LA it's a little bit more spread out. San Francisco, it's like pretty much everywhere, like it's kind of inescapable, you know? But then like you like have like areas where like super poor, and then you just go to like the super like nice areas. And LA is kind of like that, where it's just like downtown LA, everyone always tells you, oh, downtown LA is not like, which is like the main part of the city, you would quote unquote say, you know, like from an outside perspective, you're like, oh, this is where the city is. But no, everyone that lives in LA is always like, nah, downtown LA is like a place you just don't go to. It's like ghetto, it's like homelessness, it's like this, that. It's okay, like, don't get me wrong, but like there is homelessness, but like I think probably similar amounts of homelessness that you would see in New York, probably in downtown LA. Like, they all definitely make it out to sound way worse than it is, in my personal opinion. Like, and like, don't get me wrong, it is bad. It is bad, especially in certain areas. It is bad. Like, it's not like, and we're not like people who are going on what's those? Skid Row. Like, we're not going on what's those things? What are we called? Like those tours, like poverty tours. Like, I'm not going out here today, Nicoletta being like, showing Nicoletta, here, look, Nicoletta, look, this is where all the, no. So like, it's not like I was like showing her all those things. It's just the first time it happened to me in LA, I happened to be in those areas because that's where my cheap hotel was, right? As a college student. So I saw it with my own two eyes. So like, there were parts we were in that weren't as bad, but I was saying like, no, imagine this, but way worse. Like, you know, like there are parts in downtown LA like this. So like, and it's there. But the thing is, like, so you have that in downtown LA, and then you have literally in Hollywood, you have like, there's this 7-Eleven near us that I was going to, and there was this guy consistently that was off his head, that was just like talking to himself, like moving around, like everything like that, like, and he just stuck there, like, you know, and it just sucks, like, you know, they're not taking care of the homeless population, and like, it is really bad out there, you know, like, and obviously I know like a lot of it stems from the opioid, like, you know, epidemic that occurred, you know, and that was a fault of their own, as in like they're just signing off freaking opioids because they got a bill, you know, and everything, you know, they got a check for it, and it was all due to capitalism, you know. So, but yeah, LA is definitely not the glitz and glam it's made out to be. Like, don't get me wrong, there's really nice parts of LA, like you have like West Hollywood, you have like Beverly Hills, which I know is not it's technically a whole different city. It's not part of LA, but you understand from
You
a foreign mindset, everything is LA.
Obviously.
Even though Beverly
This
Hills
is the area, the region.
yeah,
And these are the places in the
like
region.
Beverly, like all there. We all know that they're all different cities. So relax, you can stop typing. Like they're all different.
I'll keep
cities.
typing. I don't care.
They're all different cities, but all these different cities, different vibes, have different areas, whatever, and like. It's interesting, like you can see like the luxury, but then you see like the poverty, like and it's always interesting to me because all these people tend to have high horses and be like, oh, at least we're not in Africa or whatever. You literally go to Lagos, it's the exact same thing. Literally, you go to Lagos, it's the exact same thing. Rampant poverty here, rich people here. Like it literally is the exact same thing. Like LA is literally the equivalent of Lagos. Like you have rampant poverty here, rich people here.
Yeah.
Like different areas for different things. So it's except we just have a higher population.
That was my first comparison as well. Especially seeing like the street vendors all setting up their clothes stand, whatever. I'm like, where am I? Like, is this like this bazaar in Timisoara? Like, where am I? It's not the first thing you think of LA. It's all just people trying to make it and hustle and like sell yourself on the streets, and it's like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's so different.
It must be really tough to be doing this.
Yeah, no, but obviously LA does suffer from that problem of everyone comes there to try and make it, in the sense of like not from a business point, but from an artistical point. And obviously the artistical point is always harder because you can always try hustle your way in some way, somehow. You start in a small firm, starting something and try whatever, right? You can always do that. But if it's art, it's literally just connection based on who you know. Like you can have the most beautiful voice in the world, but if you don't know nobody, you're never living your small town,
Correct.
kind of thing. So like everyone's there, and there's so many people you see it like are working side gigs because they're trying to do whatever else, and like it's just insane. It's kind of insane. And like it's even insane, like everyone's always thinking about LA. It's like, oh, you should go to these areas because you might see what do they say? Spot a celebrity
sighting.
Yeah, celebrity sighting.
I thought that was hilarious.
Cringe. But yeah. So what would you give I guess so.
And we're not done talking.
No. I was saying
I'm not ready for ratings.
No, I was going to say in LA, what would you give like the difference between Beverly Hills, right, which is its own city, and LA? Would you say like there's a massive difference between the two?
Yeah, we just discussed that.
Oh, okay. No, I'm saying yourself.
Yes, of course. Like Beverly Hills is the glitz and glam.
Yeah.
The bit that you see or you think of when you think of LA, and the rest is LA. Like the rest is not what you think it is. Even like, do you know those stars? Because everyone looks for the stars. I was looking for the Michael Jackson one. Tell me why I walked like an hour to get to it in some like middle of the street with cracked like cement on the floor. It's just not, oh my god, Hollywood stars, like, they're everywhere.
When you the Hollywood Walk of Fame, everyone always thinks like, oh my god, it's gonna be like this street, it's gonna be pristine, and all you see is everyone going like, oh my god. No, it's just literally just in Hollywood area, there's just a bunch of random streets with stars on it, and
people just homelessness on them. Like there's a lot of like not abandoned buildings, but like shut down businesses. A lot of like because remember we were in downtown LA and there was this like area that looked like a Broadway like theater place, and it was literally like abandoned, closed, like no movement anywhere.
COVID did a number to them.
Yeah, because they all said that. They all said, oh, COVID, but it's like the rest of us have moved on. Do you know what I mean? Like you need to recover a little bit. Like
yeah, COVID really did a number on California as a whole, to be honest. Like a lot of people left California, a lot of people like it obviously didn't make sense. A lot of people have moved to the other states, so.
Yeah, clearly, because we went on a night out and there was nobody there on a Saturday.
Yeah, no, COVID's done a big number on them, and everyone did confirm it. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, LA's not been the same since COVID.
Yeah,
so like definitely it made a massive impact. But
speaking of clubbing, how did you find it?
We went to a few things. I think it was only one day, the PH Day Club, that really stands out to me. That was really nice. I really enjoyed that. It was like this event, and it was really good. Besides that, it was okay. And then we had in our our hotel, right? We had this rooftop, and they would do events as well, and that was very like interesting. I feel like Nicoletta should be the one to talk about that and her take on that more so. But how did you find clubbing as a whole?
I thought like, so where did we, I don't know where we went the first night. The Saturday night, it was dead, there was nobody there.
Warwick.
Yeah, that was crazy. Then when we went to that event, it was like I guess like a black event, and we walked to the door, right? They didn't have the person to scan our tickets, so we had to wait. And then the bouncer makes a comment about like, oh, Farouk bringing his white girlfriend.
Farouk? No, they said he.
But they didn't know your name.
Yeah. Okay. No. And I quote, he said, I'm going to get me a white one.
Yeah. And then Farouk is like, no, you're wrong for that. And then they're both laughing.
No, not both. All of them. There was like 6 bouncers outside.
You were laughing too.
All 6 bouncers were laughing. Like,
yeah, you were laughing too. It was so embarrassing.
No, I was like, oh my God. And I was like, you're wrong for that. And then I said, I'll have you know, I've been with her for like 12 years, you know, and then whatever. But
it was just like, it was just crazy that someone would like just say that out loud to your face. And then literally on this side, and then on the other side, there was this poor girl who wanted to enter, and they were making fun of her. Like, they were making fun of the way she looks to her face. Those were the rudest people I've seen in America anyway, because no other service industry worker is going to be like talking like that.
Oh yeah, but they're not getting tipped. They don't give a fuck. They don't need to be fake.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, is that the reality of LA? Like, if you're not nice and polite and getting tips, you're just like an absolute dickhead. Like, is that the two sides?
You know, like, the thing is, like, you have to remember, like, they're one of the very few people, like, they can just be themselves. They don't have to do politeness.
But is that who you are? That's what I mean. Be themselves.
But bouncers tend to be dickheads anyway. Like, let's be freaking for real, especially in America, they tend to be dickheads. Like, you know, and it's probably because they deal with a lot of shit, and 2, they don't have to be fake nice to people.
But that's the thing, because that's fake nice being a decent person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, just like, it's iwi. You know, like, you're actually insulting a woman to her face.
Yeah.
Like, get some
decency. That one.
Because they said some really bad shit.
They were actually really wrong. They were really wrong for the things they said.
What,
they were just like they were just making fun of her, like, and because I don't know what happened. I think she was trying to get in, something didn't happen, and then she was giving out, and then they were like not taking kindly to her giving out, and they're like, and then they're like, just get away from here, you know, like, once you get yourself sorted out, then you can come back. And then she was there, and obviously she was in the mood, and she did say something. She like said something, and then like when she said that one thing, like the response did not justify the, you know, like the reaction did not justify like what she said, you know. It was as in like she slapped them, and they went bang bang.
Literally all together started punching on her.
You know, to be fair, she started it, but they didn't have to finish it that badly.
Like, it's just sad.
But in relation to the comment they made about me, that one is like, it is what it is. Like, in America, like, obviously there's a massive, that one, I have a completely different opinion from Nicolette, as I said. Like, I see it from a completely different perspective, because obviously I have a lot of, like, I know of a lot of I've been in the American black spaces, and I know how it is there, and there's a very controversial topic about, like, obviously, like, interracial relationships and all these things, and, like, especially right now, it's kind of been a lot tense with, like, you know, athletes and all these other things and all this stuff. So I hear, especially, like, in a predominantly black event, it's like, another one of them ones, like, you know, who only likes white girls, nobody's whatever, and it's coming true. Obviously, that is not my truth, you know, and I don't really care. So, like, I'm never gonna go and be like, oh, I don't need to. I don't need to defend myself. But at the same time, it's like, I understand why that comment could be said because of everything that's going on. So, like, I don't really care. Like I don't think it's disrespectful. I just think it's like based off the situation that is currently going on and how things are, especially like for African Americans with the whole, like, it's a whole debate that they constantly always beat to death. Like, I understand why that comment would be made. Do you get me?
No, I don't. I think some things you shouldn't vocalize out loud.
But it's like, you shouldn't.
Yeah, like literally, like I can't imagine ever
like it's free, but it's free will though.
Yeah, I can't imagine bringing you to a place and it's like, oh, bringing her black boyfriend with her. Like in Thompson Hotel upstairs.
Yeah.
The bouncer saying that. That's like, I'm taking a video of them instantly and posting it online. Like, what the fuck are you saying?
Yeah, but once again,
why are we normalizing this?
No, I hear it, but I feel like, funny enough, those are two different situations. Like, black people aren't allowed in white spaces anyway. Let's be honest, right? Like, there's already an intrinsic racism there, right? This is completely different. This is like there is no race. Like, they don't give a shit that you're white. It's not racist to you because you're white. The problem is not with you. Like, the difference is, if I go to a white space with you and they don't want to do whatever and say anything, it's the problem isn't you. The problem they have is with me, right? In this situation, the problem they don't care about you. They're giving out to me. As in, like,
you're making fun of you.
You're making fun of me. As in, like, oh, you're one of them ones that you didn't want to go, like, you don't like your race, right? Yeah. Which is completely different from, like, they have no issues with you. Whereas from
but it's such a further divide.
No, but I'm saying, like, when it's from a white perspective, it's like, oh, their problem. Yes, their problem is like, oh my God, you went for a black person, but it's not because, like, oh, you're like whatever race. It's because it's like, this is a, you know, like, N-word, like that, like, their problem is me. Like, intrinsically, they hate me. They don't give a shit about you. They're giving out to me for being like, for essentially, they're like, you hate your own race, you know?
I'm not saying they're the same, by the way. Like, I'm not saying it's racist towards me. I'm saying it's creating a further divide in the community towards you. It's alienating you from a black space simply because you're with a white woman.
But once again, like,
you know?
Like,
so if we lived in LA, you would feel like you can't visit these places.
Absolutely. I think it's different. And mind you,
there are plenty of white women inside at all these tables.
Yeah, like, as I said, I think it's completely situational. I think I am definitely of the opinion, and I do agree with the point of, like, there is a lot of issues with, like, and I've said it before on the podcast, with, like, a lot of black guys going predominantly only after white girls or whatever. And, like, once again, you can love whoever you love, but if you're predominantly only going after one race, like, and your problem is, like, you have, like, you're saying, like, oh, like, you're not attracted to the black women or whatever, or these other things. And, like, let's be honest, because it's never like, oh, a black guy that just tends to be with white girls and, like, because that's just tends to be his preference. It's never like that. It's usually always like their preference is white girls because they don't like black girls. It's not like you just tend to have a preference, whatever bull, right? And a lot of them have bullshit things, and let's be honest, they say a lot of bullshit things to those white women about their race, right? So, like, for me as a person, I don't rate that. I don't rate it either, right? And a lot of that BS does happen, and it tends to be those guys that you do see with white girls, unfortunately. But, like, and the thing is, I get it, like, but it's always the thing I always discuss, like anytime there's something like that, and I always say to my dad, like, the quote is like, you can never have a door half open or half closed. It's either open or closed. Yeah. Right? So, like, for most people, it's either you just don't care, right? Or if you do care, obviously broad stroke, like, and with stupid, it's kind of like the whole, like, oh, what's the thing I always say? Like, when I said it to you as well at the same time, it's like this, it's like the whole thing, like, oh, I hate all men kind of approach, right? You don't actually hate all men. Yeah. You hate and, like, no man should be, like, feeling butthurt from that statement if you're not part of the problem. The same way, like, they could be like, oh, like, whatever. I'm not butthurt because I know I'm not part of the problem. You know, I know I'm not part of the problem, but I understand why things like that are said, because obviously, but the thing is,
if I walk past you and I'm like, ew, you're a man. You're not, like, that's directly to you as a man. Like, that could be my mentality, but I shouldn't say that to you before knowing you. Like, I'm saying that to you, and the thing is, I might think that if I'm alone with you in, like, a subway and I'm, like, wary of you, I'm like, oh my God, like, this is kind of scary. that's just like
is it one of them
the
ones?
female experience, you know. It's like, oh, you never know like what could happen. But am I gonna come to you and be like, ew, man, disgusting?
Once again,
I'm not gonna do that.
Those guys were very vocal in the first place. We already freaking knew that.
I know,
and that's what I'm saying is
I
like
know they were.
we can't. I don't care about what they said.
Yeah.
You know, I already said my little bit in the end. You know, like at first I was like, "All right, you're wrong for that," and then I was like, you know, actually, you know, I actually been with this girl for a long time since we were kids. You know, like. It was my way of being like, yo, it's not like that, right? Whatever way, and I didn't feel like I need to justify it to it, but I just said I'd say it anyway, right? And it's one of those things where it's like I don't really give a shit, but like I didn't like what was it supposed to go like chronicling online like those people, like, but the thing is like stuff does happen, and like people are like that, and I think it's different opinions from different sides.
I think
and
the conversations need to be had 100%. And make it in a respectful way. Like, you don't have to literally like now harass people on the streets or be like, ew, you should not be dating. Like, that's really problematic, you know? Like, leave people alone.
But that's not what they said though. They've just made a joke to themselves.
Right.
Being like, oh, he said I'm gonna get me a white one. Like,
right, but it's
I don't think that I think that's just like a jokey, like, oh, look, another one of them ones, you know? Like,
I think it's still problematic. And like, I think
maybe
if we were walking on the street and someone, like some person behind us literally said that, you know, and then you're in a mood, that could start a little...
Oh, that's sorry.
That's what I mean. It's not
I was like, the fuck you mean by that?
It's not a casual comment that you make to people.
Yeah, but the thing is, as I said, context matters, because these guys were already in a like little hard, jokey, little dickhead mood.
I'm not gonna justify.
No, but I'm just saying
the girl, me, and God knows what girls were after. You know what I mean? I don't want to justify any of that.
Nah, those guys are having a good time that day. To be honest, if I was one of them guys laughing, I would be in stitches because they were killing. No, they were not. They were.
Are you the type of man sitting in a group of men?
Saying they were saying they were disrespecting dudes too. I'd say, I'm telling you right now for free, those guys were killing it. They were just laughing so much. I was like, oh my God, these guys are having too much fun with this. And
that's not fun. That's disrespectful.
I'm saying they're into dude as well. I'm telling you, there was a guy that couldn't get in and they clowned him.
Justify anything.
I'm not justifying
just because they're doing it to men doesn't mean it's okay.
No, I'm just saying they definitely clown people. Also, I'm a man. They clown me too. So
I'm just saying it doesn't justify anything. They shouldn't be. Period. Like, that's just so mean.
Free will, Nicoletta.
No,
please, free speech.
No. But that's how. Like,
but the thing is, there was no hate speech. Like, they didn't disrespect anyone. They didn't curse anyone out.
The girl.
No, they made fun of her. Which after she said something, okay, whatever. But there was no hate speech here.
That is
right.
Hate speech.
No, hate speech is like
they were making fun of her weight.
No.
What?
No, I'm so sorry. But no.
What the hell?
I'm saying there was actually no hate speech. Like, hate speech is so different, right? Like, it's like attacking people hatefully for their characteristics
for no
and like doing
reason.
whatever. No, whereas, which is so different from what they were doing. Like, were they being dickheads? Yes. Were they being hateful? No.
Yes.
I don't think they were being hateful.
They were
personally.
being hateful.
I personally don't think they were being hateful.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
They were being dickheads.
If I was that girl, I would never show my face in public.
She came back. She went into the club and she had a good time.
But like, I'm just saying, if that was me, that would have a serious impact on my life. Like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, it was just so rude. They were just really disrespectful, and I know we yapped a lot about that. Just one more thing that I actually hated about LA before I say any positive things was the tipping culture. I feel like it's gotten so out of hand, and I don't even know where it was at to begin with, but I'm hearing Americans say the same thing online, so I feel like it's a safe thing to say. A lot of places, the minimum tipping amount was 18%.
No, 20%.
I've seen some with 1.8.
Yeah, 18% on like the coffee shops and stuff like
Which
that.
Is insane.
And then sometimes, like usually, so insane. Because I was the one paying most of the time. What you would see is majority of the time you'd see 20, 22 other. And then there are times you would also see 18, 20, 22 other custom. So it's either like the 3 on top, 18, 20, 22 custom, below, taking up the whole row, or 20, 22 other.
Yeah.
You know,
like a 20% tip is insane to me. Like, I would never think to leave that much money here. And it definitely must have inflicted some sort of trauma, because I went to pay for my matcha like in Westfield the other day with my friend, and like after I tapped, I was like, oh, like, here we go. And I was like, oh my god, I don't have to tip. Like, that's so nice, because you just have to get mentally ready for them to show you the leave a tip thing, and then the leaving no tip is kind of awkward. Like, you know, I don't want to leave nothing.
Well, in coffee shops you can just leave.
Yeah, but also I don't want to leave like 18% for a cup of coffee. That's insane.
Yeah, so just say no tip. I always went no tip.
Because like, let me just, it's not clicking.
Yeah, I literally, even one time I was like, oh, it's not, and they're like, oh, sorry. And I was like, yeah.
No tip.
For like, coffee.
Or like, we went to this place that there was these like donuts on display, like put the donut in the bag and then you're leaving a tip for that as well. I'm like, what have we come to? Like, it's really out of hand. It's really, really out of hand.
In the good old days when I was in America, it was only 10% to like 20%. 10,
but that must have been a
20.
lot for you back then.
It was ridiculously low. But still, at least it was like ridiculously low. Like 10, 15, 20. 20 was a high end.
Yeah.
Back then. 20 was literally the high end back then.
Yeah.
Now it's the standard.
And then obviously the tax on top of things. You know, you kind of get an idea of how much you're spending, then you get at the till and you are like, what? Like, how did all this happen?
You're like,
like, I'm paying, say, $5 for something, but it ends up being $7. And then it adds up quickly if you're picking up stuff, you know. I think I spent like over $100 in Target, and that was not the goal. That was not the goal. But onto some things that we liked about LA.
I actually like LA, surprisingly enough. I like the city. I think it's a nice city. I think with the right amount of funds, it's an enjoyable city. Honestly, I do think you can enjoy the city. I think the fact that you're so close to nature, and like, that just has to do with America, because America is a freaking beautiful place. But the fact that you can go do all these other things or whatever, I think the city can be enjoyable to live in with the right means. I think without the right means, I don't know what the hell you'd be in that goddamn city. Let me know, like, if you do not have the funds, get the hell out of that city. That city is not worth it.
Even as tourists.
That city is not worth it. But if you have like enough means, I think it's a good place to live, personally.
Means and willing to drive.
Yeah, you have to drive everywhere. But that's just America, like.
Well, not in New York or Boston.
No,
I didn't feel like I needed a car to get around.
New York is such a specific situation. Like,
I know, but
like 70% of New York people only use public transport.
Yeah, which is amazing. Which is amazing.
Which
but
is
like,
such
say
an outlier.
My mom is now watching this video and she's only been to New York. She's like, I'll just go LA, do the same thing. You know, and I think it's definitely a reality check, because you've been to LA without a car. One of my friends has also been. It's really difficult to get around. Like, the public transport is not good at all.
It's a lot better now.
Yeah,
I will say it's a lot better. We didn't use it, but I can tell from just being there. I can see it's a lot better now. Yeah. And I already heard, and I looked it up, and they did say it's a lot better now.
I'm sure it's better, but I still didn't see like a crazy amount of buses.
Yeah, but
do you get me?
Bro, if you had seen one the way we were back then.
I'm sure.
Now at least we're seeing buses.
Yeah, but you know, for like a big city, like say you take London, there's buses everywhere.
Yeah, but America, you can't come. Once again, even in LA, you have been gifted blessings by seeing there are places in America that you go to that there is no public transport.
But I can see that. Like, we come from Tralee, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're so dependent on a car, you're not getting anywhere else.
No, honestly, like, there.
And LA is like that, which is crazy, because you don't expect it from big cities, especially if you're a European and you're traveling to a lot of like capitals and cities and whatever. You will have some mode of transport. You don't have that in LA. Like, if you're not willing to drive, you're not going to have a good time, because places are so spread out. Like,
very spread out.
So spread out. Like, Malibu is so far from everything else. And you might think
granted, it is his own city. We do know.
Obviously. Yeah. But it's like, obviously you want to see Malibu, right? And like, it was far. And like, the traffic is crazy. So I would say, like, you
spend majority of your time in traffic.
You do in a car. Literally in a car, and then looking for parking, which actually wasn't as bad as I expected. But yeah, you definitely need a car, and I did enjoy that. I think that was a great thing that made the experience so much nicer.
Much more
just
manageable.
like knowing that we can get in a car and go wherever. I did like that. Another thing that I liked was, like I said, Malibu. We tried to go to one place to eat, and they said it was like members only, and we're like, what do you mean, like in a dinner place? So we couldn't go there, but then we went to a place near it, and they let us in because there was nobody there, literally. I thought Malibu was really chill. It was definitely, you can tell it's a lot more
The
like
Kith store in Malibu is sick.
very, very beautiful.
Very nice.
They have a nice chilling area too. So and a sweet
Kith treats.
kid treats. So that was really nice.
But Kith treats in every Kith now. But it has actually like an outside area that is good for enjoying your Kith treats versus like the Kith store in Rodeo, because it's like you have your Kith treat and then you just you go on the sidewalk and just eat it.
It literally says eat it here or outside.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else? I liked what I loved doing, because we spent so much time in the car, was looking at homes. Like, I love how different every house is. I think here we're used to so much uniformity because a lot of homes are built by the same companies, the same whatever. They all have a similar look in a lot of places. Whereas there, like, every house looks different.
They build it themselves. That's
like it was just so cool to see. And obviously in New York, like, I just saw a lot of apartment and building and high rises, but like I just love that. Like, every house is so unique, so huge as well. Like, it's definitely one of those like Home Alone, vibes where you see like these big homes.
I don't know why Nicoletta keeps saying Home Alone, by
because
the way.
I don't know, but it's just that vibe of like really big homes with really big driveways and cut grass and everything. I don't know. I thought it was gorgeous, and I love looking at every single house and how
if they don't cut
the
grass, you get a fine.
Yeah, they do. I love that. That's another thing I loved about LA. There's not a lot, I won't lie. It's not a lot that I loved about it. I like their coffee. I thought their coffee was delicious in a lot of places. And I love their fruit cup from their fruit vendors, and I'm so glad I got to enjoy that.
She didn't even finish it, by the way.
But it was
she
so
says
much.
that, but she didn't even finish it.
He gave us more than usual.
She didn't finish it.
No, he gave us more than usual. It was
even if she
delicious.
Got the normal thing, she didn't finish it.
Anyway, that beach that we went to with the Los Santos
Nicola's
Park.
talking about Santa Monica Pier and Venice Beach.
That was beautiful. I enjoyed that. It was very hot. I burned my scalp, but I really liked it there. I thought it was so cool. Like obviously if you play GTA as well, like it's like it's coming to life. It was beautiful. The beach was so cool. I wish we got to walk more, but it was honestly really hot. So
yeah, we were meant to walk all the way down, and she was like, "Yo, I can't."
I didn't have the shoes for it either. Like, it's not a vibe. But yeah, not much else.
What would you say then? What you rate in LA? You like, as in you saying it's worth the hype?
No.
Very clear cut answer there.
How about you?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
But like, that's because I believe LA is overhyped. Mm-hmm. Do you get me? Mm-hmm. Like, I think if it wasn't overhyped, it would be worth the hype. But it's it is 10 times hyped more than it actually is. Do you get me?
Wait, there's one more thing we did. We went to university. That was very nice.
UCLA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a beautiful campus.
Campus, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice campus. And then, what would you say for Boston?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not hyped at all.
Yeah,
exactly.
I love Boston.
That's what I'm saying. Your best place to be is just not be hyped.
Boston. I wouldn't go back to LA personally.
I don't know if I'd go back to Boston, to be honest. I mean, like New York is right there. Like, why am I going back to Boston?
No, but as in if like the opportunity came up and someone was like, "Oh, I'm going to Boston," I'm like, "Yeah, I'll meet you there." But I get what you mean. Like, you're paying money to fly to Boston. Like, I get what you mean.
Yeah, I'm not flying. I'm not paying money to fly to Boston.
I get what you mean. But it's like, if it just so happens, like, I would be happy to go back. But yeah, LA is a big no for me, especially if you don't have money. Oh, actually, that's another thing. I did like, the food wasn't as bad as I expected. Because everyone's like, oh, like, food in America is crap. But we did go to pretty nice places, and the food was pretty decent.
It's okay. American food just never does it for me.
No, but remember that
They even do Nigerian food bad.
that pasta place that we went to, well, where you had pasta.
As I said, like that was very good, but
And the pizza I had was really
majority of the
good.
time, like American food's just not good.
But that's exactly what I expected. But I was pleasantly surprised, even by Community Goods, because it's like, oh, this is an overhyped TikTok place. But no,
It was good,
it was really
yeah.
good.
But the thing is, you can count the outliers.
Yeah,
You get me?
I guess.
Like you freaking go around London to eat, and you're gonna be like everywhere
Yeah.
is pretty like decent. Like even freaking chippers are good. Like let alone like actual restaurants. Most restaurants in London are good.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely believe the cuisine in London it far outweighs everything like in most places in America.
Well, yeah, obviously.
I'm talking about America as a whole country.
I'm not comparing it like.
No, I
Europe-
know.
Europe to anything.
No. I didn't say Europe. I said London.
London
'Cause if
or
you want-
anywhere else.
Paris, I'm going to America every time. Please.
Really?
Paris, Italy, French food, Italian food suck. It's bland, tasteless.
Oh.
Don't care. Majority of European food is just actually not good in comparison. Like we're talking about actual European food. We're not talking about the fact that, like as I said, London is a.
But you're saying
exemption
like,
for
oh,
me.
like Italy bad, but I will eat pasta in America.
No,
And it's
but
better.
the pasta is, they're not making pasta the way Italians are making pasta. Like the pasta they're making there would be a Sint Italians, you know? Like, so like they're not making pasta the same way.
We had KBBQ, that was really good as well.
Yeah, that was
Their
good.
Asian food is really good because they have
Yeah,
a huge
they
Asian
have
population.
a huge Asian population.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was our take on the whole thing. We've already gone for this. I hope my phone is still recording. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. And we'll, because, sorry guys, my storage, I just don't have much storage. I'm so sorry. You know, we could have done more, but
Anyway,
What
hope
can
you
we
guys
do?
enjoyed, and until next time.
peace.